Uh, oh, now you want to be quiet? Now Jane's the only if you're gonna talk to me like
I
that.
thought you were doing your intro. That
I
takes
thought you said
forever.
be quiet. Did I mishear
No, Jane just doesn't usually listen that easily. You're not supposed to laugh that hard, you little shit.
Oh,
And
FYI, yeah,
Audra-
lots of cursing on this show, just so you know.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm allowed to use profanity. That's good to know.
You're allowed to be yourself.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't say that the version of me that doesn't use profanity is not
Oh, shit.
myself. I
There
guess
you
that's a
go.
more professional version of myself, tailored to my
Oh,
audience.
that's
That is
garbage.
softer.
Cussing shouldn't affect your professionalism.
It shouldn't, true, but I come from corporate culture.
Fuck corporate culture.
Yeah, true. Well, we're working to change that. Oh my god, dog hair, how?
Aw.
I swear I lip rolled myself like a couple minutes before I
The
came
hair
up.
doesn't escape.
Magical hair fibers of love.
Look, I did a 7-hour walk at fucking midnight, okay? You guys are lucky I'm fucking awake. All right.
That was a you decision.
Oh, is that how we're okay? You're feeling fucking spunky, aren't you, you little shit? All right, I got you.
Fun.
Oh, don't worry. This is me fun.
I love spunky and feisty and fiery. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm a whole lot of piss and vinegar in the morning. Here we
See, my
go.
positive vibes balance it out. That way we're all even.
Is that what you're here for? Is that what you think? Okay. Is that what Audra told you?
I need one of those like white girl signs that says like good vibes only. Live, laugh, love.
I was just writing that.
Fuck you guys. I have one of those. Don't you start judging me.
Hey, I used to hang out with the hippies and the burners when I was in my circus arts life, and that was the scene.
It's good vibes.
Good vibes, yeah. Oh, now that song's in. Good vibrations.
I'm digging the good vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Zoom, here we go. Woohoo! Morning!
Woo!
Woo!
Yay!
We fucking made it. I know. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday, and do we really think the black guy was going to be on time? Is it fair? You know what I mean? Like, I hate to say this, but man, I don't mind saying it. The black guy didn't want to get up this morning.
All right.
I don't
Gave
think
you a call.
I ever really want to get up in the morning. Especially on Sundays. I don't know why I scheduled it this way. I don't know what I was thinking. We're here.
I was gonna say, you're the producer. You're the one who's
This is your idea.
Are we fucking pointing fingers? Is that how we're starting this shit this morning? All right. Fuck you too. All right, everybody. Hey, how you doing? It's Suit Man Dante Barnett. We're awake. I don't know how, but we're here. I'm proud of ourselves. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Whew. I don't know what we're doing today. I don't even know who our guest is anymore, but we're going to figure it out by the time the show gets going. First off, let me introduce my co-host today. We've got the potato chip enthusiast. Give it up for Ginger. Damn right.
Buy my book. Yay.
Your book? You don't even know how to read. What's your book? Why don't you kick it out there for a second?
It's Picture Us by Ginger Dameron, the one and only, available on Amazon. Link can probably be in the description of this video or whatever. We'll figure it out later. We're just getting started.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be multitasking. And by the way, one of these days she's gonna change her fucking name and be professional. Anyways, our other co-host today. Give it up for the ray of fucking sunshine. Give it up for Audra Cisak.
Hello.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think I've got my Seth Rogen Bobcat Gold thing going. Whatever today, I don't know.
It's all right. I got the green going on today. I like the green.
I'm still fucking out of it. And then last but never, definitely not least, give it up for our guest today, Lyric Holmans.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I can already tell this is gonna be a fun, feisty group of humans. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, we get
Hold
feisty.
on, did you just say you people? What do you mean,
You people.
What the fuck?
As in the three of us. As in the three of us.
Oh, yeah, we'll be talking all kinds of shit. I'm trying to get you canceled.
Oh my god, it's gonna be that kind of morning. You're gonna keep me on my toes, huh?
Yeah. Hey, never mind. I got other answers for you, but you just met me. It's all right.
All right, I've got a couple hours on you. It's 10 here. I've been up for longer. Let's go.
Actually, I did
Lucky
see
duck.
Alice last night. I've been up all night.
Oh,
Ah!
damn. They say
Too
you
much.
go to a doctor if it's been more than 4 hours. Just saying.
No,
Yeah, thank
know
you.
every woman you know. Hey, remember in '69 when I went for 3 minutes? Got something for you. Got something for you. Jesus Christ. Did I do that? Right? Like, no, that's the funny part. But it's one of those where, depending on how you look at it, it's good for me to be like this. I'm awake today. Usually, sometimes it takes about 15 minutes today. I'm fucking everybody up from the beginning. So, how we doing? How we doing? The good news is, you only have to deal with me for about a third of the show. I only take up mostly Jane's speaking time. I'll give our guest and Audra their usual speaking time, so we'll be all right here. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
But anyways, today, right? Give it up. We've got Lyric Holmans. Tell us a little bit about us. Tell us who you are. What's the neurodivergent rebel?
Yeah.
Full background of who you are.
Yeah. So I am a late diagnosed multiply neurodivergent adult. Some of you know me online as the neurodivergent rebel. I'm autistic. I've got ADHD, but I didn't know I was neurodivergent until I was almost 30. I was 29. I also use they them pronouns because I'm a non-binary human. So shout out to the LGBTQIA community and people out there, yay! And those of you who may not be visually seeing me right now, I'm a light-skinned mixed race humans in my mid-30s. I've got short green hair, mohawk, glasses, and I'm sitting in an RV. We're full-time RVers, and my day job, other than screaming into the abyss of the internet about autism, which is what a lot of you see me do, is I work in education and business consulting to help organizational culture and transformational change around the areas of neurodiversity and really radical inclusion that is a little bit different than what we've seen historically with what autism programs in the workplace look like. It's like really changing those systems and saying, yeah, we're going to make this inclusive for everybody, whether they're neurodivergent and they know it or not, because a lot of people like me, like I didn't know until I was almost 30. So I was in the workplace for almost 15 years. I just aged myself a bit there.
It's all right.
Years before I found out I was autistic. So there's, especially people my age and older are already in the workplace and may not know we're out there.
30s old.
I know she said it, or they said it.
Don't go fucking wincing your eyes at me. Fuck you. Okay, I'm almost 30. I aged myself.
I'm just saying you're in that missing generation that might not be diagnosed.
I've been in the workplace for almost 15. That's fucking. Wasn't that cute, Audra? Did you hear that? Like, oh my god.
Well, you look like you're 20 something. So
because people think I'm like a high school kid, apparently, and I'm like, it's an illusion. If this grows out, this is all salt and pepper.
Ooh, darn. My whiskers are salt and pepper. You know what? I'm sorry. I digress. I just love it.
You look distinguished.
We already talk about the frosty tips there, Dante. Don't make me go there again.
Whoa. Go ahead. Keep going. We're not going there. I'm not awake enough for that one. Go ahead. What'd you say, ma'am? What'd you say?
They.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, oh gosh, I got the ADHD. Like, I lost me. I was on a track and then I lost the track, and I was like, where did I go? You guys scare me now.
15 years.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean, I had already been in the workplace for over 15 years before I found out I was neurodivergent, and I only found out because I had new demands in my workplace, which is kind of what a lot of us will find out. We get diagnosed because we have a new demand that we suddenly are expected to reach and we can't get to it, or we lose some kind of support in life, and so these carefully stacked cards kind of falls against us. Or the other thing I've been really good at doing is only doing things I'm really good at and avoiding all the stuff I'm bad at, and so it makes it look like I'm really awesome at things because I just don't do stuff I'm not good at.
Yep.
And I'm like, no thanks. And so it makes me look really functional until I have to do one of those things that I'm not so good at. And then it's like, I'm either great at something or I'm terrible at it. There is no in between. And then it shows how much of a gap in certain skills there are. And it's like, okay, there's some things that other people think are really simple that I just can't do. Or it's going to kill me to try and do it. I'll do it, but it's going to take all my energy. It's going to take me way longer, all of that stuff. And these workplace things, like I realized looking back, it's like all of these things were often things that would chase me out of a job. I would leave, and before I knew I was neurodivergent, I wouldn't tell them why I was leaving. I would just become discontent in my job for reasons I couldn't explain because I wasn't being treated fairly as a neurodivergent person. I wasn't accommodated or whatever. And then I would leave. And then because I was in recruiting and corporate, I knew how much turnover costs and how much new hires and how much recruiting costs. And I was also being asked to recruit people that were basically not me. I
Right.
knew that if they were me or I liked them and we jived and we got along, they would be the people that would end up being let go in the organization for being a bad culture fit. Or they would
Correct.
be let go, and they wouldn't really know why they had been let go. Where other people would be let go and they would have plans and they would be on notice and they would see it coming, but the people that I related to never saw it coming. So it was like, yeah, it's merciful for me not to hire people like me. And then it was like, they don't want people like me. I can't be myself here, because it was like it sent that double message. So I was masking extra hard trying to be what I thought they needed to be,
Yep.
and,
Yep.
and I'm like going to these things I don't even want to go to. I'm having panic attacks in the car on the way to these mandatory fun things that it's like I don't even want to go to. And I'm doing things not because I want to do them anymore, but because it's what was expected of me in neurotypical society and neurotypical systems. And
Correct.
it almost broke me as a person. And then when I found other autistic people and realized that so many of us are going through that same thing, it just really broke my heart. And that's the lucky ones that were able to get in the workplace in the first place. And it sounds like, oh, we're the lucky ones. We're killing ourselves trying to get through these neurotypical systems. But some of us can't even get into the door to get the jobs in the first place, because I know how to get through an interview because I was trained when I was 17, when I was managing fast food, how to interview people. So I
Right.
understand how to reverse engineer that. But most autistic people don't have that experience. And I didn't have to get an interview for my first job because I had high school friends already working there. So they got me in, and I sidestepped the interview that I wouldn't have been able to do until I was trained how to do interviews on other people. So I had so much luck. Like all the stars were aligned that it gave me like this secret backdoor in.
Well,
Uh,
and I
you
think you
know?
also had a very good supportive system around you at that time with a partner and, your mom.
Oh
So I
yeah.
I think that helps.
Oh my, yeah, and actually that is probably remiss not to mention my mom, because I started working in the family business before I went into fast food when I was probably like 11 or 12 years old. My mom owns a hair salon, so I mean, if this makes some sense now with that piece of the puzzle, and so I grew up in the hair salon very much, and so she taught me about how to do the banking and all of the behind the scenes of running the business in the hair salon. I booked appointments. I helped people with shampoos. Like I learned all about running a business when I was in middle school. And so
Right.
I did know a lot of the skills already. And she had really worked hard to make sure I had that strong work ethic and understood that if I wasn't working when I was on the clock, I was stealing.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
And that was like, oh, stay busy, find something to do, always be working if you're on the clock. And
Right.
like that is like the one thing that bosses, like people don't, for some reason, don't always understand. Like they aren't told, and bosses love it when you just work when you're supposed to be working. It's sad that that's like a low bar, but just being someone that's like, I'm gonna work my butt off, and if I can't find something new, I'm like, give me something to do, give me something to do, give me, and they're like, oh, they love that. It's a
Yes,
little
I
thing.
I actually got told one time at a job that I was too fast and too efficient at my job. I was like, I'm sorry that you want me to do what you want me to do.
It doesn't surprise me.
I'm more like the Sheldon type. My Asperger's kicks in, and I start, you know, your system's not very efficient. I've
Mhm.
been here for 3 days, and I've watched Bill go to the bathroom 7 times. If we moved him, and they're just looking at me like, you're just the fucking greeter, bro. Like, why are you even thinking about shit like that? So my problem I've had is I can't. For me, it's the social interacting and understanding my role and not telling people you're a fucking idiot. Um,
But what about if we change the system to where it wasn't know your place? And like in a company, like for example, the last company I worked for, that may be the last company I ever work in again, we were building this company and we all were at the meetings where decisions were made about how the company policy will be run. And that included our interns, even, and we wanted them to speak up if they had ideas even about like how the company would be run and business decisions. Everyone had a voice at the table, because shoot, if anyone sees something that's not efficient, it's bad business to say, well, you're the janitor, your opinion doesn't matter. The janitor might see some catastrophic problem. Like, what if there's, say if this was a physical project and we're in charge of maintaining a dam, and we said, I don't care if you're the janitor, if you see the crack in the dam, don't tell me because you're the janitor, it's not your job. And it was like, the dam had a crack and you didn't, the janitor told you, but he was the janitor, so you didn't listen to him. Like, and then the dam breaks. Like,
Thank
if someone
you.
sees a problem, let's listen. And that's the other thing too. It's like,
Yeah.
why do we have to know our place? Like,
We all have strengths that we can give to, I think, a company. You're right. I actually, because of you, like I said, I started following you around, like I said, 2015, 16, right about the time that you came up, you
yeah.
started. And actually, Lyric, I always said Jen was the one who got me started to actually push me over the edge to get me to do something, which was great. Lyric was the one who pushed me over the edge to quit my job. And I actually quit corporate America and ended up working as a therapist and an advocate.
well, to me, it's kind of funny you guys say these things because I'm sitting here as a black man, and I'm like, well, thank you. Welcome to being a black guy in America. Like, this is, and I think that's where I've kind of found my intersection is that there's no voice for me in this community.
There isn't.
And I was talking to somebody about that the other day, is being the nerdy black guy who was passed off as behavior issues because I was still smart. So it's a social
Mhm.
issue. No, I've been neurodivergent this whole time. I've been Asperger's. I haven't been able to shut the fuck up just because I don't think I should have to. I have something to say. I have something to say. Fuck you. I have something to say. And then I'm big enough that when I did that as a kid, they're like, oh, fuck, we're scared. I
Yeah.
talked to somebody about that yesterday. They're like, you've been 5'11", 200 pounds since you were. Yeah, that is scary. No, it's not fucking scary. I'm just bit. Fuck you. Right. So for me, that's where I've kind of had the realization that this is my lane. Like, there's no big black guy telling everybody it's okay for you to get frustrated with your teacher when you're big and black. You're just neurodivergent.
And I think a part of that too is that, we talk about, co-occurring conditions and having multiple things. And I don't know, Lyric, if you've heard from pieces and bits of the show, but Dante is partially deaf. So the reason that he can be loud is because he needs to hear. He needs someone to talk loudly to him, and then he talks loudly back. So I actually would love to see, again, this is where we go back to education. How about in the workplace, you have somebody who knows sign language, I don't know, or has that visual board, stuff
I
like that.
wish. I wish. I had a friend in elementary school in our classroom who was deaf, so we got to learn some sign language in like first or second grade, and I wish we could have learned it all the time, like every year. I wish it was in the curriculum. I wish everyone knew sign language, because as someone who sometimes, if I get overwhelmed enough, cannot move, literally, despite knowing exactly what I want to say, cannot for the life of me move my freaking mouth.
right?
Would love to be able to sign, and I can spell things out. That's all I really know. Thank you. And to spell with my hands. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
But I wish I knew more, and I wish it would be useful to tell other people, because I would have loved to have that. I think a lot of autistic people would benefit from sign language.
I think we all know some sign language.
That's a good one. I use that one frequently.
Well, that's the other crazy part is like, you know, I've looked up a couple other things. I guess the one that I found was that the I don't know how to say this. You guys brought it out of me yesterday, but they said the gender how do you say it? People being non-binary and trans and all those different things are higher.
There's trans, and then there's non-binary trans, and then binary trans.
Yeah, I don't know how to say all that. I'm working.
Yeah.
But
It's working.
there's a higher percentage of those people in our community, and I thought about it, and it was because the idea of social norms aren't there for a lot of us. So instead of growing up and going, I'm a boy, it's, well, I'm questioning what I want to be, and I see this Ken doll. Even though I maybe have been born a woman, I'm more assigned my personality signs with this Ken doll, or however that conversation can go, which I can definitely see happening. And so it's not so much funny, but it's weird how in our community we don't get diagnosed with this thing. In our community we don't have the respect for those other things either, and so there's kind of this gray area, especially in the Black community, where it's taboo to have neurodivergence and mental health issues and have the sexuality content. And so it's going to be interesting to see how, as a community, the Black people are going to respond to, hey, this is an issue, this is who we are, and how do we highlight those people, I guess, is the best answer.
And I would just like to say, Lyric, can you step in and talk a little bit about this? Only because I happen to know what both of your partners look like. So
Yeah,
I heard what you said. You're in a multiracial couple of thruple. I don't know
throuple.
how to say. Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I got the word right.
Well,
Thruple. I'm
and
working on this.
well, I'm light skinned, but I'm actually mixed race as well. So I have great grandparents on my grandmother's side who are Native. So it's like it's an invisible but important part of who I am as a person. It really impacts me very heavily. It's just kind of something that people don't always know. But in general, there are certain communities, and even just growing up poor, because I grew up in poor community in trailer park, and like you said, it's very similar to how I was labeled as not necessarily having a disability. I was a behavior problem. It's a behavior problem. It was dismissed in that way. And even now, like in my family, people don't tend to talk about mental health issues. There are things that are swept under the rug. Like I come from a family, especially like on my grandmother's side, where we don't like to go to doctors for things. Like it's very herbs and natural medicine kind of stuff. Still very in tune with the land and our plants and those natural remedies, which I still love. But there are places where modern medicine is important and helpful, but the mental health stuff isn't always spoken about. And even like with my partner, who is most definitely neurodivergent, I'll speak to one partner that will openly admit it, that my male partner, the one that is darker skinned, when it took him so long to admit that he was neurodivergent. And I look around at his family and go, it's a lot looking at my family, and I go, I know why we didn't see it, right? It was just normal to us. Right. It was just how things were. But I knew 4.5 years ago when I was diagnosed, because I was like, if it impacts me, I could see things impacting him more so, and him having more difficulties with fitting into the neurotypical systems than I did.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something he would even admit. And the conversations are very different, like even around LGBTQIA issues, in addition to the neurodiversity issues that weren't really talked about. Like, he didn't have exposure to queer issues growing up. It's not something that was spoken about in his house. And, people don't understand it. And so even though I am his partner and I am queer, like I have to do a lot of educating, with having cis partners, or
Yes.
so it's like there's just so much levels of complexity there. And I might not have even had that much exposure to it either if I hadn't been raised in a hair salon, because in Texas that's like one of the only safe queer spaces is like hair salons.
Salons, I was gonna say it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I was exposed to it because I grew up in the hair salon, and gay men taught me how to do my makeup. So I didn't think, oh, men
Yes.
can't wear makeup. That was never, that thought never crossed my mind. And like, you know, I was around gay and lesbian people. I didn't know non-binary people. And I was
Right.
around trans people. I never knew trans non-binary people. Like that would have been so great to know. But like the rest of that was just normal to me. Like I never thought, like I didn't even ever come out to my mom that I liked people outside of my gender, because I didn't think it was something that even had to be mentioned, because I was just like, oh, you like who you like, whatever, because that was
Exactly.
normal because I was raised in a hair salon. But
Because
like,
love is love, right? That's
but Texas,
Yeah.
like the Texas piece, like I think that is the biggest thing here, is being in Texas. Like Austin's a little blue dot in the middle of a big red vomit state.
yes.
But in Texas, it's not a very queer friendly state.
Queer. I'm glad you said that because I was listening to what you said, and I could hear my black family in the background saying, "Baby, nobody cares if you're Asperger's. It's hard enough being black." And I think
I mean, it's true. I mean, you
not
that's
to
what you get.
defend, and I'm assuming you said your partner's a little darker, so that's where I'm assuming not so much black, but even Hispanic and in some of those other cultures, who cares if you're a little slow? You're still black.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the kid whose helper had to sit on the ground with him while the 14-year-old kid that was my size went through an episode, and the black guy sitting there pleading with him not to shoot the
Oh,
fucking,
yes, in Florida, yes.
right. And so it's one of those where, and then like I'm not telling you right or wrong, but I'm over here like he's got a nice family. I dare you to come over to my black family and want to start telling them about, oh, they'd be like, you want to tell us how hard it is to be queer and all that? Have you ever been black? Oh fuck that. So
Black and queer.
yeah, like so that's where and then even just with the Native American piece, because I got a lot of Native American friends, I can imagine it's fun being the white girl at the powwow and having to tell them, no, look here, I'm not the white girl at the powwow. So I've seen I've seen that too. I can only I can only imagine. I can only imagine that it's different because I was sitting here. She keeps saying she's mixed. What is she gonna say? She's French and British, like.
But see, that's the invisibility there, is because
Yeah.
It's
And it's
that's
like literally all I've got is black hair. That's it. That's it.
yeah,
And
there you
I
go.
dye that green because it's mostly gray and black now
that's
anyway.
the funny part is there's that duality question because it's something that we're talking about as a neurodivergent, is that you're passing is normal, you're passing as a white woman, and so to the minorities in the world, they're looking at you like you're not a minority neurodivergent person, you're a white girl, what are you talking about, right? So I can only
Thank
imagine
you. Yeah,
the frustration that comes with that, especially when you have pride for your culture.
Well,
exactly.
it's less frustration now because I understand that all of these things in my identity, whether people see them or not, have influenced the work I do and give me a perspective that allows me to speak on things, um, in a way that is more inclusive, because I have multiple intersectional identities that people often don't give me credit for,
Right.
you know. And I even asked my grandma last weekend. I was like, hey, like for a lot of years, even like on like legal documents and stuff, we would check like white, why? I was like, why do you check that box? And she's like, well, when I was a kid, the only options you had were white and non-white, and you didn't want to check that other box if you didn't have to.
Oh, that's a good
I was
point.
like,
I didn't even think about that.
okay. And she said
Oh,
eventually they had a Mexican box,
time
years
out,
later.
time out. Let's talk about that. So the first time I got arrested, I went to jail. And that's what happens. I know that's not part of the story. Sorry. But when you get to jail, right, they have this interview with you about what race you are. And they're like, what are you, Mexican? And it's no. And they're like, Samoan is no. Well, what are you? Mixed. And they said, so you're black. And I said, no, I'm mixed. They're like, no, so you're black. And I said, no, I'm mixed. And they're like, well, what's your majority? The majority's white. So I put white.
Uh huh.
We got to the judge, And the first thing he did was change that.
Yeah, Dante's mixed. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that the judge changed it.
But the judge changed it,
you
yeah.
can't tell. I know you can't tell. Like percentages, like it doesn't work. Like it's not like an 8, a third, a 16. It doesn't divide that way. You can't tell, by looking at someone.
I just did my 23andMe, and I knew my mom. Well, it wasn't even back then. I'm a math guy, so if my mom's all white and all black people aren't all black, that means
majority has to be.
I have to be at least 51%. Some slave master got into my black family. I guarantee you that. You know what I mean? So not half and half. Sorry, I digress.
Exactly.
Right, but that was just a realization that, like, I was 19 at the time, but I was like, why in the fuck would he do that? Like, there's the Asperger's kicked in. Like, there's a fucking reason for this. There's a fucking reason why, if I get sentenced, he doesn't want it saying I'm a white guy. Why?
Yes.
That's the part I don't think a lot of people get, and that's the. Go ahead. Were you speaking for once today, Jane? You were doing all your talking earlier. Are you gonna speak up? What the fuck?
Well, earlier I was thinking about how I can relate to like not talking about mental health and stuff because I'm Asian and we we will not go to the doctor. Like my mom, like had a kidney infection this year and she was like, I don't want to go to the doctor. And all of us in the family were like, it's a little late for that. Like you have to.
You have to do it now.
And then with mental health, she explained to me the Thai mentality is that you basically just be positive and power through it, which is not fantastic for my white depressed ass. And I'm like, no, that does not work. That has not worked for me.
I can just think about every Asian friend I have whose parents, you suffer through it. Right? Like that's the you suffer through it.
You suffer. That's what happens.
It make you stronger.
And then you become doctor.
I'm mad we both have shitty accents. Yours isn't racist. That's just you making fun of your family. All right.
Well, see now, so I'd like to ask lyrics. So this was where you get to like the arty, the creative type. So we have these mental health and the intersectionality piece, and this brings about this passion in you, which is the fire dancing, and you've got this creative part and the roller skating now, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's all been a lot of stuff that's like, looking back at it, like so many of these things started before I knew I was neurodivergent, like all the fire spinning and the circus arts. I was searching for something, which probably was my neurodivergence and trying to calm some undiagnosed anxiety and mental health issues that I just didn't know what they were, except it was this not good feeling is back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not good. I'm not
the
good.
Fire within.
Yeah, that's all I would know. And so like I was chasing what I knew made me feel better was movement and music. And so roller skating, you put your headphones in or you crank up some music and you dance and you're just flowing and moving. And it's like, you almost don't even have to think about it. Your body just takes over and you go where you go. And it's like, I can't plan it. I don't know I don't have a routine. It's just whatever comes out depending on what I'm feeling or what I'm listening to. And the same with like the fire spinning and the hoop dance and all of the fire arts, it's, you have music and you have to be like, when you light that thing on fire, you are in the moment.
Yeah.
Fire, and you can't be out of the moment or you're gonna burn your hair off.
I just thought of fucking Richard Pryor when he talked about, have you ever set yourself on fire? That'll wake you up out of being high real quick. Whoa, oh shit, we're going, okay, all right, let's fucking do this.
Yes, accurate. Yes. Yeah, so I was looking for mindfulness and meditation, and then I got really into yoga and Buddhism and all of that stuff. And
yes,
it explains
Buddhism is lit.
Yeah, but is that where we get those unhealthy attitudes? I wonder about like, oh well, life is suffering and suffering is just part of life. I'm like, it's like there's some stuff in there that's really helpful, but then at the same time, when you look at some of the mental health things, if people twist it the wrong way, it can be harmful. I think sometimes we get all that
toxic positivity.
Yes, that we were talking about earlier before we went live. Like, I think people misinterpret those messages from these things and twist them in unhelpful ways sometimes. and I love it.
This is why I think a lot of autistic people don't find cognitive behavioral therapy very effective for them or helpful, which is also known in the world as CBT. In my practice, I do acceptance and commitment therapy, which is ACT, and it's more of about accepting yourself, but being able to diffuse to the negative thoughts by changing your environment, not you. It's all about the environment.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't deal with therapy at all, so fuck you guys.
My whole
No,
life is therapy. You know that.
yeah, no. So here's the thing: is like we talked. Lyric, you don't know much about me. Maybe you've seen a little bit, but I'm all over the fucking place. I've been molested. I've got PTSD. I'm neurodivergent. I'm deaf, and I'm black. And then I had a white mom who liked to say the N word a lot growing up, which really fucked with me in public. Exactly. Like, nigga, come here. And all the black, I'd be like, yes, mom. And all the black people would be trying to fight her. But stop trying to fight my mom. Oh, anyways, we're not going to cry about that. So when you get in front of a fucking therapist and you start telling them your shit and they start crying, you start getting mad because this is my fucking experience and I don't want you fucking crying. Sorry, too real.
Wow.
Too real. I got.
Oh, I never cry. Don't even.
I didn't say you're not my fucking therapist.
I'm not your therapist either. So
look at you. This isn't about you, Audra. Fuck, it's about me. Right? But no, that's the whole idea. Is that and that's I find it hard because I think the suffering is a cultural thing. For you, I hate to say it, for you white people, we suffering. We need to talk about it. For us minorities, shut the fuck up. We're all suffering. Nobody fucking cares. Right? Like that's the Thai attitude. That's the Chinese attitude. That's
suffering develops character.
You're alive. You're suffering. Good. That means you're alive, right? Like pain means you're growing. Like, no, fuck you. This hurts. Ah!
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to hurt anymore.
Like, and that was the thing. Is like I heard you talking. It was like I did the same kind of thing to our last guest, Kayla Marie, because she talked about how she had this wonderful experience being diagnosed, and I was like, bitch, fuck you. This isn't wonderful. I'm glad you got help in like 6 months. Can you write a letter or tell us your plan? And so it's just not frustrating, but it's I think this is where being neurodivergent makes it easier for minorities because we find white people that have a compassion for us.
And I would be the white person in the room, just so everyone knows.
Don't worry, Lyric's white passing, and minorities that might as well be white too. She knows what I'm talking about, so don't discredit that. I think they know that. Sorry, I'm working on it. I think they know that.
Hey, I appreciate your effort there. It takes some getting used to. They's the hard one because it feels unnatural to people. And I was just saying yesterday, because I'm in Texas, y'all, that I am doomed to be misgendered every day for the rest of my life if I choose to go out in public in Texas because I was trained like ABA style from a young age. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, ma'am. And if you don't, you're like, nah.
You heard me. I say ma'am. And so
he said ma'am, yeah.
This fucks with me a lot. And then I like the way you talked about, so I was married and in Covington, and until 2.5 years ago, I wasn't around this. Like if we had a lesbian parent, okay. If we had a gay parent in the school, ooh, we're being progressive. And then I got out there and then like, ooh, fuck. I guess we're going to
Welcome to Seattle.
We're just going to go into this. I'll talk. We'll open it. You're a great person to talk to this about. So then there's the council culture and the way people want to put terms on things. And I myself said, I'm not willing to date a trans woman. I'm just not mentally there with it. I don't know how, whatever. And my buddy said, well, that's not transphobic. Your penis. There's a word for it. I can't remember, but it's like I'm against anything that's ever had a penis. I don't know how to fucking he explained it to me, right? And so it was weird because I didn't know how to express these things, and I didn't know who to talk to about these things. And like, you don't want to be I'm not a bigot. I don't have a problem with trans people. I just don't want to date one. And that's like saying if you don't have a preference on race, you're not racist. If you don't want to date a black guy, that's just what you don't want to date. And so then I wonder, how hard is it for the people on the spectrum to have this talk or go out in the public and you know what I mean? Like,
it's a good question.
Who do you, they already have no social awkwardness. And the guy raises his hand and goes, there's no right way to say this, but there's a character on Big Mouth. You
Oh, I
watch
know
Big
Big
Mouth?
Mouth. I know
Okay,
Big Mouth.
so there's the Asperger's character on there. There's the autism kid, and I could see the kid being like, "Why is the girl dressed like a boy?" He says things like that.
Yes.
How do we? How do you deal with that for the kid? How do you deal with the person that says, "Why does the lady want? Why does the man want to be called they?" How do you know what I mean? Because you're in Texas, I'm pretty sure that. How do you approach that, man?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like you would approach it with anyone who's new to this learning journey, right? So whether they're autistic or they're just someone who's not been exposed to these things in the past, right? There's gentle education, and where it's like, okay, well, trans women are women regardless, and you have to explain that some humans are born in a body that does not suit who they are, and so they will make changes to that outward appearance so that it matches who they are on the inside. And you can
Yes.
simplify these things and explain them to people, um and it just, you have to take that extra time when somebody hasn't been exposed to this. You can understand these concepts from a very young age. Even very small children can understand these things if you make it simple. Like, people like, how will I explain that so and so is gay to my niece? And it's like, you just say, hey, Uncle Bob likes men. Oh, okay, Uncle Bob's gonna have a husband. It's that simple. The kids like get it. But
Yeah.
Right.
people
I
act like
get
it's
two
more
daddies,
you
yay! Right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And but people, you come in and you don't know what you don't know. Like, I didn't even want to talk about my gender for a long time because I was worried that what I was trying to say, and I even had instances where I tried to explain something because, I think it's ridiculous that I was born with these body parts, that I have expectations because of the parts I was born with. And because I tried to frame this and did it clumsily, like, and I was literally trying to share my experience as a trans person, but I wasn't necessarily, I was in the closet, but I wasn't out, and I hadn't been like, this is me and this is who I am, because I didn't think I needed to like go out there and fly a flag to be able to speak my experience. But when things are invisible, people dismiss your identities as if they're not there. uh you know like I didn't even know how to speak about these issues well, and so it's like I've had to go educate myself on like all the stuff I know and I've known since I was a young person. How do I speak to it in a way that people aren't going to misinterpret my intentions of my words? And so I've had to like study to make myself an expert in talking about this so people don't misinterpret what I'm trying to say. And it
Yes.
is like a landmine. It's like walking in a landmine. Like, even not just trans issues or LGBTQIA issues, just joining the autism community and getting online. If you've never been involved in that, like, there are autistic people who say, I'm a person with autism, and they're new and they don't know any of this, or they have that Asperger's diagnosis and they come in and like, I've got the Asperger's diagnosis, and they don't understand why that is upsetting to some people and why that could potentially be harmful, and they don't know yet, and we jump on them real quick before they have a chance to learn anything, and we chase them out of the community, and they never will grow and learn because they didn't have the opportunity to learn.
so
um
I
let me
just I
speak
want
to
to
that.
I want to stop Lyric right there because I want to cry, because thank you for saying that. I have been fighting and fighting within my own community. I can only speak on the autistic community because I'm a cis person. I'm cisgender. But oh my gosh, if we could just stop the fighting and try to bridge a few gaps here to gently educate people, I think we would solve a lot of communication issues.
Here's
Otherwise,
Yes.
I'm
the
gonna let
thing.
Jane Jarrett talk
I
because
get
they
I
know.
get pissed all the time because I get pissed at these guys even when they correct me on shit. So I was on a show in Kuala Lumpur where they call it autism awareness, and I tagged our show, and somebody, and I won't say which guest, but a guest wanted to message me kind of nastily and be, hey, it's not this, it's that, and I wanted, and I almost, and I have to, I'm a big black guy, don't fucking talk to me like that. And I get pissed, and you can ask them, is I don't fucking care what month it fucking is. I was copying and pasting something. Fuck you. That's how I get, because I should. Why in the
mhm.
fuck are you talking to me like that? I'm a fucking adult. I don't give a fuck if it's awareness or acceptance. Really, right now, I'm just fucking marketing. And I say that with a lot of passion because as a person new to the community, I really don't give a shit. And my big black guy side comes out of, you want to talk to me like that, I'll fuck you up. And I'm sorry, but you hit a nerve for me in a different way because I get angry with that. I get angry with. I had somebody tell me you can't call yourself hearing impaired. Bitch, I can say the N word. I can definitely say hearing impaired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and just so everyone clears a little bit up, I'm just gonna make a little joke and ease the tension a little. Part of that was me.
Yeah, I was there for
Part of-
that, and I was like,
yeah.
wait a minute. I
was gonna say
remember
part-
this conversation happening.
Yeah,
that conversation was me.
yeah, I was hot. I was hot. I was, and it's not. There's no tension here. This is just I'm very emotional. When I get emotions,
Right.
I feel them and I express them, and that's kind of part of what we are as being on the spectrum. As
We're
well.
very emotional people.
Right. And so, but a lot of these things is there's a privilege into being white and on the spectrum, and we talked about this the other day on other show. Like when the white people talk about autism, it's just like, oh, it's I finally found my reason and it's great. And when the minorities talk about autism, it's like, so this is why everybody's been picking on me.
Yeah.
So it's just a different thing. You know what? Go ahead, James.
Well, anger was my first reaction too. I feel you. Like I was mad, like all that mad. I was like, all these freaking years, like, I didn't. But then I realized I probably would have been put in ABA.
Yes.
I thought I was having a behavior problem. So
Yep.
ABA would have been exactly where I was sent. I mean, I already had teachers tying my feet to my chairs and shit anyway, so it was bad enough without having the label officially, but it's like
Yeah. But like I said, that's why I kind of wanted to stop. It's just myself because I know my light. So everyone, just technical issues. My light actually fell, and that's why I'm a little darker now.
I figured it out. I got mine off the wall. I've got my lighting down. Hey,
I know. I know, Suit Man too. Okay, so yeah, but that's why I wanted Jane Jira to talk a little bit because Jane Jira is openly gender fluid.
Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. So I didn't pick my labels as per se until I was in high school and like middle school, and
what
people
does gender fluid mean? Remember,
hold up.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
this is story time.
Yeah, I don't know. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. I don't.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Explain it.
Yeah. So in middle school, somebody explained that they were bisexual, and I was like, "What does that mean?" And they're like, "It means I like guys and girls." And I was like, "Oh shit! There's a word for how I feel." So then I was able to be like, "Hey, I am a bisexual person," and it was annoying growing up also because I would date a bunch of guys, and then I'd be like, I'd talk about my fear of coming out and stuff, and they'd be like, well, why does that matter because you're with a guy? And I'm like, that doesn't change the fact there's a coming out process that still needs to happen for me. And then bi erasure is its whole thing. Oh, that's annoying. And then when I was on the spectrum, people are like, oh, wow, I didn't know you're on the spectrum. I had no idea. And I'm like, well, yeah, because for some people, it's not a thing that you can see. Also, what does that look like? ? And then with gender fluidity, I had a trans friend explain that gender is a spectrum, and then gender fluidity is when you're just like traveling all across the spectrum all the time. And I was like, I wish I knew this word when I was like 12, because everything would have made so much more sense, because in my brain I didn't know these words. So I was like, I think my brain is just like half guy, half girl, which doesn't make any sense. I want to be a prince, but also a princess at the same time. And I only knew what trans was. And then one of my cis friends was like, well, if you turn into a guy, that means you have to give up your fancy clothes. And I was like, ooh, that's a deal breaker for me. I can't do that. I didn't know there were like options where I didn't know that you could break out of the binary at all. So I was like, man, are there where I feel? That's why I wish that LGBTQ education existed more. That would have been nice.
Yeah, we don't know that these options are a thing. Like, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's another gender fluid person in the room. Like, that's so rare. Like, I'm non-binary, but gender fluid is a non-binary identity, so it's like under the umbrella. So there's like trans non-binary, and so like I only knew trans binary people growing up. I didn't know trans non-binary people. And then under that, there's like gender fluid, agender, all of these different like relations that people can have to gender. And it was like, oh, you find gender fluid people on TikTok and go, this is me. This is it. Oh my gosh. I didn't know I was an option. Right?
Exactly.
I'm mad at the way you said it like this. And I'm sitting there like, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day, is that I went to Morehouse College. Do you guys know anything about that? It's the all black college in Atlanta. And it has a high, well, now I don't know what the demographic would be because it's all changed, but it's got a high gay black community because it is all male school, right? And I was talking yesterday and I was like, remember when you were a clean dresser, everybody thought you were a metrosexual? Did they even use that word anymore? Right? And I was like, oh, that's not even a word anymore. Like, we don't even. I mean, you're a little younger, Lyrics, so you might not remember this, but in the 90s.
I was like, wow, that was a word. No,
Yeah, you were.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, fuck you. Did I just age myself? Remember, you were like,
I've heard that word
15 years
before.
in the workforce. He just said metrosexual. He's definitely got to be 40. He's definitely. But that was what the first idea of being gender fluid as a guy was. You were metrosexual, and you wore pink, and you weren't quite, on the other team, but you had some feminine qualities to you, right? And so, damn, I used the top. I did some research. Hey,
he got a word.
I'm not discussing today, right? I'm not. Fuck you. I know how to read. You racist son of a bitch. I heard what you said. Fuck you, right? But no, that was the truth. Is that it's funny how things change because I literally. I don't know why I did a 7-mile walk last night. Me and my buddy were talking about it. I was like, remember when you because we were just talking about how I'm suit man. I've always been suit man. I was like, yeah, I remember they used to think I was a metrosexual because I had some style and this. And then we just chuckled and went, when's the last time you heard that? You know what I mean? Like, even for the people out there, like, did he just cuss? What's the metrosexual? I've heard of pansexual. Demi, is that a new? Like, oh God, sorry.
Yeah. So is it time for my lightning round?
It's not about you, Audra. Wait your fucking turn.
Oh my God.
That's the only thing. That's always why she fucking comes this thing. I want to do my lightning round. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody wants to care. No, well, let me ask a couple more questions. Well,
yeah, you go ahead.
Well, this is the thing is I'm more of she's here for the lightning round. I'm the guy that makes sure we get through everything we talked about on your little
That's why you're the producer and I'm just the host.
Yeah, that's very white of you. Yeah, that's very white of you. Yeah, I heard that. Well, let me ask you, you said on your thing your favorite color is purple. I'm a purple fan. We both went.
We all love purple here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's funny when we made our flyer. I was like, we should make it purple, and I was just like, that's the color of autism is. No, I just love purple and dinosaurs. I want a purple dinosaur. No, so why purple? Your hair's green.
Well, actually, I need to dye it. This half is purple, so if it's
I was gonna say
other way, it'd be purple. And my hair's just like a mess right now. But I've always loved the color purple, and I used to have my hair like purple and hot pink. Back before I entered corporate and was in all the circus things. And then I abandoned all of that, abandoned my circus arts, abandoned my bright colored hair and dyed it a natural color and went into corporate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sad.
And I'm reclaiming my color, my purple color, and my vibrance and all of that I gave up because I needed to be someone else.
Yeah.
I don't need to be someone else. I don't,
we stand colored hair.
Well, you know what
we
it
don't
is?
say colored anymore.
We don't say colored.
Rainbow hair only.
Yes.
All hair matters.
I'm gonna start that hashtag. All hair matters.
No.
Careful, you gotta look and make sure it's not already first.
You
don't want to be too feminist here. You gotta shave your armpit hairs. You gotta shave the all shit.
Oh, you don't want to see this then.
I was gonna say,
lucky I don't got a sleeveless shirt right now.
Keep that shit to yourself, all right?
You can see my legs.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just no.
We got some different opinions. And
So
that's okay.
I'll go there for a second because we talked about it one time. I talked about with the guys is like you got to have a little bit of hair everywhere because you don't have a little bit of hair in certain spots. I feel like you've got some other issues if you want that to be bare. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like
Your
I
body
don't know
hair
if
is
I agree.
natural.
You've got a point. Yeah. I want it to be
People
mature.
are born with hair. We have hair. Like if we weren't supposed to have body hair, it wouldn't be there. It actually serves like a purpose. It's supposed to
Yes.
protect our skin. Like who says just because I'm born with certain parts, I gotta shave that all off and get ingrown hairs all the time and all like, man, maybe if I got some special occasion, we'll get rid of it. But I haven't had to put on my
I heard what she said.
this
Birthday
year.
sex, anniversary sex. Talk.
I don't know.
And
Oh.
honestly, I don't even care. I still don't even shave. If I don't want to, I want to. Because honestly, for me, it's a sensory thing. And I'm going to be very open on this show just because I know Lyric knows me and I don't care about everyone else who's listening.
Waxing is painful.
Thank you. It's painful. Shaving for me is painful. Like I don't like the feel of it. And so to have hair on my legs, I can actually play with it. Like I can actually feel it and rub it. So yes, does that make me a little different? Yes, but I like it.
I feel called out.
Yeah.
Like I suddenly feel very called out right now.
Okay, so I'm not the only one then.
Ooh.
I'm not.
I didn't know it was going to be that kind of show.
I got quiet for a minute. How do I?
Here is some
I was
insight
like
on
double
how
Dutch for a second. I was like, ooh.
All the filters are gone.
I don't know if I'm ready to jump in here. I think I'm just gonna let them do this. I'm not.
So in the 90s, so my dad wanted to be kind of included in the conversation with my sisters. So they tried wax on him. And until the day that he passed away, there was still a bare patch from the little spot that they tried, because that's how intense wax can be. And females are expected to just do that.
I know, right?
So I don't.
Like
I don't
it's fine.
quite have a unibrow. I'll get as close as I can, but I get a couple of hairs right here, right? And
Right.
usually I just kind of trim them, whatever it makes them longer. But I dated a girl like at 25 who was like a hairdresser bitch and said, "Come by the salon." And she fucking waxed. I almost punched the bitch. Like I literally almost punched her. What the fuck? That hurt. And she's like, "No, we gotta do. No, we're not doing it. You want to pour it on my what? Fuck you." And no. And then I'm a guy, right? And I already get the. Imagine being a guy going like this all day because it's growing back in. That don't look good. That don't look good at all. Like that. No, I'm not. Sorry. Did I digress? Okay. So let's see what other. Do we have any other serious stuff I had to ask you about? Tell us about the website.
Yes.
The website. Oh yeah. Well, I've got two websites. I'm easy to find.
Tell
Neurodivergent
about
Rebel.
both of us. What do you got? What do you do?
Yeah. So neurodivergentrebel.com is the website that I use to put out all my free educational resources, where I scream into the internet. Yes, Neurodivergent Rebel, rebelling against a culture that values assimilation over individuality. So that's been what I've been doing for over 4.5 years now, since finding out I was neurodivergent, to put the rage somewhere, because I had that rage reaction when I first found out. I'm not as angry as I used to be, although it comes up every now and then. And then neurodivergentconsulting.org is my professional venture where businesses can contact me to help deliver training for their organization and help challenge some of their ideas. And I've recently started delivering training on LGBTQIA issues too.
Yes, please.
It was in demand. It's not even on my website, but they came to me and said, "Hey, do this," and I said, "Okay." So that
honestly, if I make a referral for an LGBTQ education, I actually refer you. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Thank you. Yeah, I got to give one for 1 million people at the end of April.
Did you get $1 per person?
Shoot. They wish.
My quote was probably too low for that one originally, if we tend to not be so good at valuing ourselves, we undervalue ourselves, and I've been told a few times, you do not charge enough.
That's where I'm at, because I remember I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember about six years ago, Audra asked me to be a advocate for her, and I didn't understand why then. She's thought I was special this whole time. I didn't know that. That's the fucked up part. I didn't know she thought that about me. So when she asked me to be an advocate, I didn't understand why. I was like, "Oh, you just want a big black guy to make sure nobody bullies you. I got you. No problem." Right? But now that you're talking about that, I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I'm scheduled to do a TED Talk with is it Academy? Is that how I say it? Academy 8. Am I saying it right?
Academy?
Academy.
Academy, right? And I call it a TED Talk because that's kind of what they made it sound like. And they're like, yeah, so there's only going to be like 75 people in the room, but tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people are going to see this. And I was like, oh,
I want to see that.
are they
I
going to
bet
let
it's
me
gonna be good.
cuss?
It's a big deal because actually Lyric just got done doing, actually it's still going on this weekend, the well-being conference. And I'm going to get this all wrong. I know Academy is involved, but
And
reframing
autism, yeah.
autism, right, is the one kind of putting it on. So yeah, they're a big deal.
Like I told them, because I got to email the ladies. I think Northern Audie's watching right now, and I'm new to all this, and so I was like, so, and they were like, no, Audrey, real quick, is this big deal? Yes. Okay, all right, right, but I don't think people understand that's where, like, even for you, like when I said $1 a person, you're like, fuck, that's a good idea. That would have been $1 million.
I mean, woulda, shoulda, coulda, right?
Yeah, I
But
missed out, right? But then I also think that that's where what we're doing is going to be so huge. Is that when we started this podcast, I told them we're going to make some money, and they looked at me. Audrey at first was like, "No way." Then we did this one time, and somebody rewatched it because the minute I told us, "Yeah, this is awesome," kind of came up with the idea. We sat down. Somebody watched it. She's, "Oh yeah, they said we're going to make some money." I fucking told you, because there's something to be said about having, what's the word, genuine, hard, right, discussions.
oh yeah.
There's something to be said about, Kayla's watching, who was our guest last time, and we talked about how she expressed her whiteness, made it easier for her to get diagnosis. That has to be talked about, not just for her to understand how some people may feel, but also for people to understand that they're not the only ones getting screwed, right? Like, and so I guess that's where I find this is needed. Like, there's so many different topics. Like, I'd love to hear a show on I'm being LGBTQ on the spectrum. I'll let you guys figure that part out.
Hey, let's start a new show.
But, yeah. Well, and also too, if I can I plug something else?
No.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
So
Fuck.
I'm starting a podcast with a friend, JR.
Oh, hell yes.
With the help of Different Brains, a charity, because I need someone to help me do all the producer things. Otherwise, it'll never happen. I've wanted to do this for a long time because it has been amazing that my platform has grown. But I got into this because I wanted to amplify other autistic voices, and I wanted people to be able to hear from autistic voices, not just me. And so I want to have a platform where we have these discussions about how these issues impact us differently, especially if we are multiply marginalized in different ways. It's like this gumball. You add autism. Okay, now you add race. There's another gumball, gets bigger. You add you're trans. There's another gumball. So then you're left with this giant gumball, depending on how marginalized you are. And we don't get to talk about those issues enough. And so the podcast is going to be called Examining Neurodiversity. So it won't just be an autism podcast, but I want to have guests on and have these kinds of tough discussions. We can't cuss as much as we cuss here today, but other than the profanity,
I'll refer them motherfuckers to you, right? I hear what you said.
I want to have
over
these
here.
hard discussions so bad. So I love that y'all are having the hard discussions too. So hopefully, there's more room for more people to start having these hard discussions that we've been dancing around for the past 4 years. Like everyone's like fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. And it's like masking, masking, masking. Okay, but yes, there's a privilege. Like you can only unmask if you're safe. It's like when you're queer, like you can only be out of the closet if it's safe. So there's privilege with being unmasked. There's privilege. So it's like they don't talk about the other stuff. So yes, masking is killing us, but also, some people will die if they take their masks off because they won't be able to keep their jobs or, be able to continue in society. So
exactly.
That's it's like, yes, we got to talk about the good stuff, but we got to talk about the hard issues too. So we'll be diving into a lot of those hard issues on that podcast. And I'd kind of love to invite all of you guys on there at some point.
I would love to be on this.
Absolutely.
Discussions.
I'll be the black. We'll talk about the black shit when I come on. Just let
Please
him
come and be real.
He's gonna be fucking cussing. It's the black episode. That's what black people do. It's all right.
That's why
I'll have to warn the producers to say, okay, we got to figure this out, y'all. We
He's
gotta make it
coming.
happen.
He's coming, and it's got to be. Oh, that's the other part of, and I'm glad you said some of those things because I got goosebumps. You kind of saying it is that there's intersexual conversations that need to be had, and I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Like if you don't fucking like it, just don't fucking tune in. But there's the kid who can't stop cussing and wants to cuss and says, "Look, I get a good fucking grades. Yeah, I like to fucking cuss because you're a fucking idiot. Why in the fuck do you guys treat me like this? I don't do anything." You need to know that there's somebody else out there, right? And
Yep.
not only that, but I like kind of what you said there is that I guess I'll just say it. I run a show called Black and Proud, right? And there's a lot of privilege that comes with being white.
Yeah.
And even when it comes to coming out or being trans or being LGBTQ, it's there's there it, I don't know how to put this. You're still not a minority, right? And I'm not saying you per se, but a lot of Caucasian and white people think because they have disabilities and other things, when they're not a physical disability that people can look at you have, or you can't be looked at and known. Lyrics non-binary. I can tell. No, you're cis passing. You're white cis passing, right?
Yeah.
When you're passing as white and cis, there are issues that when you talk about them, they're going to offend people who aren't white and cis passing. And I don't, that's the conversation I think people are really afraid of. And that's the conversation that's really hard to have. And I don't mean us here. I think we're all okay with that. But when you get into the corporate realm of fundraising or the corporate realm of how do we call this? Do we call it special interest groups, right? And stuff like that of the special interest groups are usually for the white passing people in that community. And so I think that's my goal in this, I guess now is I want to see the black autistic group. I want to see the I'm you know what I mean, like who's make and even like I work with Zach. I don't know, you're not out here. Audra knows who Zach is, but we're
Yeah.
doing a he was like, we're doing autism on the spectrum. And I was like, why don't we just call it black and autistic? Call it what it really is. Stop trying to paint this. We're black. I'm gonna be black. I'm gonna be Dante. So this is being black and autistic. It's not colors. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just I don't know. I just that I got a weird feeling when you started talking about that. Of yeah, there's a lot of truth to. I love the fact all these white people are coming out and talking about all these things, but that doesn't give the minority perspective on, like you said, I'm black already. I don't want to tell them I'm Asperger's.
Yeah.
No, we get it. Definitely understand that.
You just brought out something to me I don't know how to express.
That's like the motto for our whole podcast.
Make it
Fuck you guys. Every guest comes on, brings up something in me that triggers me to go, fuck! Ah!
And I've dissociated about 3 times during this entire hour. So sorry, guys.
The magic is working.
We're confronting those ideas and challenging those preconceived notions. Ooh.
Like they said in the 90s, feelings, wow, feelings.
Oh my gosh, Jane Jarrett's gonna get us a copyright issue.
Okay, you have to have musical skills.
No,
for
there's
that.
no background music. You can sing
Oh, okay.
it, you
We
just
do not
don't have
own the
the
rights to
melody.
any of this music.
You're off the rhythm enough. It won't matter.
All right, I guess Audra, it's your favorite fucking time of the podcast.
Because I put thought into these questions. No, I just
Fire.
happen to like it because
Whoa, whoa. I don't like how whoa, you bitch. Did you hear what she said? I like it because I put some thought into this. This is the
Because
part of
rarely-
the show. No, let me finish my rant. She went with this is the part of the show that was planned for. The rest of this shit is your hokey pokey post comedy shit. But this part is planned. Go ahead with your planned bullshit. Go ahead.
because okay, so Dante knows my working style is I do it right before when I absolutely have to because again that demand. And this is the one thing I actually write and do something for. So I always get super excited. So lightning round. About 3 questions. So anyone who doesn't know about 3 questions that are what I call typical questions or society questions, and then about 3 questions, which are more neurodiverse questions or autistic questions. So are you ready, Lyric?
Oh boy, I'm ready. Let's go. This is fun.
All right. What is the best place you have ever stayed or traveled to?
Oh my gosh. Well, I like traveling more in my RV, so I'll put that out there because I have my roaming sensory bubble everywhere I go. And even though hotels can be really nice when you travel, if they put you in a nice hotel somewhere to do a talk, it doesn't feel like home. It is stressful and it gives me so much anxiety and I can't relax because it's not home. It doesn't matter how nice it is. So traveling in my sensory bubble is way better no matter where I go. One of my random favorite places to go is probably Llano, Texas,
Oh,
like this little blob in the middle of nowhere. And that's just because we can go park on the river in the middle of town and walk to everything within walking distance. And it's all super cheap because it's like this little town in the middle of nowhere. So it's like everything. And it's only like a 2,000 people town. So
oh
it's
boy.
not super intense on the senses anywhere you go, and everything's really old. Like it's all in old buildings, so they don't have a lot of big fluorescent lighting. So it's now that I'm thinking about it, like why I've never had to put it out there. It's like naturally a very sensory friendly place, just because it's old.
Yeah, it's old.
And old and not very developed. It's all these like old Western early 1900s, 1800s buildings and things that the businesses are in. It's so cute.
Right, right. Is that the place with the roller skate, the area where you roller skate at, or is that just another
Oh no,
area?
that's actually pretty close here in town. It's about
Oh,
15 minutes from where I live
oh,
during the
okay.
weekdays. But that's about an hour from here, or maybe 2 at the most. I think.
Oh, okay.
It's you've probably seen it on my Instagram stories. There's like a really beautiful bridge that goes across a river with a waterfall.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. Now I know where that's at. All
Very
right.
beautiful.
Yeah. Next question. Beach or forest?
Ooh, forest. I want to be up
Ooh.
in the mountains by the river somewhere. I need water though.
Ooh.
There must be water. If there's no water in the forest, I'll take the beach, but I don't love the
You would
sand.
love the Pacific Northwest.
I agree, and I
The
would love
edge of the forest is the beach here.
I hear that.
That's
That's
exactly.
literally how the edge of the forest is the beach here. It's fucking
Welcome to
awesome.
California.
Beaches be tripping.
Oh my
That's heavenly.
That's funny because a lot of people say forest. So, oh, I'm always interested. I see patterns. This is where I'm at. What is your favorite animal?
Probably a raccoon.
Yes.
Ooh.
Did
Trash
you just call me a
pandas.
coon? Hold on. This just went left.
Raccoon!
I'm not a coon. That's a
Oh my
whole turn.
goodness.
I
With
love.
nice
And their little hands.
opposable thumbs. There's
They
no
can actually.
mistakes.
They can open up little garbage cans and get in.
There is a family of raccoons in my yard. They're so cute. One of them is just so round, it looks like a circle with legs. You would love it.
Oh, they're really smart little critters. It's just like you just see them like plop their little round selves in and like put their food and then just like look like a little fat Santa eating. So cute.
You know, I always like raccoons because they wear a mask all the time. I just thought they were fucking cool. Looks like
They're
they
autistic, right? They wear a mask.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. All right. So now we get on to some better, cooler questions. All right. The fave one. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Ooh, probably has to be the pterodactyl. And I want to fly.
Yes.
And
That's
I
a
also like
bird.
am a flappy creature, so
That's a
I'm a freaking
bird. That's
pterodactyl.
not a dinosaur. No.
The dinosaurs were birds. Didn't we think they have feathers now? Isn't that like the consensus?
I
that
mean,
they-
Yes.
chickens came from T-Rexes, so
Yeah, there were flightless birds, so those are just the flying ones.
They were
Yeah.
not flying. They were gliding birds.
Okay,
Gliding.
like a kite bird.
Whoa, there you go with all the racial slurs.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
This is an autistic nightmare, like having
I
your
know, right?
Oh, yeah. No,
into
hey,
things that are
so-
not at all what you meant.
Hey, the best part is, so Benny had me on his show, and he's like, "I'm gonna put you on the back of the bus logo," and I was like, "You're gonna put the black guy on the back of the bus?" He said that live. I was like, "Oh yeah, you're fucked. You're all fucked."
Oh, man.
Oh, and by the way, Lyric, again, if you don't know and haven't seen that bits and parts of the show, I've known Dante since like high school. So we've known each other a long time.
I'm loving it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, Dante's fabulous.
I'm
love his
not
real-
fabulous.
You're
Okay, we
real.
talked about this.
he's real, that's for sure.
The realness is fabulousness. It's defiant to be real.
Yeah.
They don't want us to be real. It's literally an act of defiance to be that real, you know?
Yeah, to be
love it.
authentic. Yeah.
Yeah. I know where I stand with you. You're gonna tell me like it is. I can already tell.
Call me
Yeah.
Aaron Neville, because I'm a tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, girl. Let your conscience be your guide.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting serenaded already. Well, that
You
was
got 2
fun.
questions left. Let's go.
Yes, I got 2 questions. Okay. What is your favorite Comic-Con costume? Cosplay?
You
Probably
cosplay?
the Mononoke one, the Princess Mononoke. That one took so many hours, and it has like a lot of different textures, and
Yeah.
it moves like the character in the show because it like had to be heavy, and so like that one, and my partner and I, like we made it together. So that one was a lot, and that's always like been one of my favorite animes. So I like that one, and I get to wear a mask, so it's like I can walk around and have this mask on, and when you have a mask on, like you're invisible, you're like totally not yourself, and nobody knows who you are. So it's like really easy to like be really in character because you're like running around in a mask and jumping and crawling around on the floor and on tables and things. Like,
Yeah.
"It's me."
It's not me, it's the character.
I also do cosplay.
Yay! It's been a while. I went last convention we went to. I got most of my guys' gear stolen, and we haven't gone to a convention since.
I do role play. Does that count?
That's pretty close.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Officer, Mrs. Officer, right? Like I'm sorry.
You should see her their partners photography. I was gonna say, word slipped my mind.
Back before I got
It
the list
is-
stolen.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
I was
it's
like, how far left is this going? I should see their partners. What? Hold on.
Yeah,
No, they actually do photography, like, and there's
Sure.
pictures
Wink,
of Lyric.
wink.
Yeah.
Do I have to try out on a couch first? I know how this works.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
Yeah, and there's actually pictures of Lyric in cosplay, and I love it. It's awesome. All right, so my last question. Do you think roller skating is going to come back, and are you going to be the pioneer for that?
Oh, I'm hardly the pioneer for that. It's already back. It's been back on TikTok for a while. Like, and that's why social media is helping it trend. And so people are like teaching each other on social media. This is how you do this trick. This is how you do this trick. I'm excited as heck that it's back. Like,
Me too.
I've got my old skates out from, like, I've got a pair of skates from the 1970s that I learned to skate on in middle school.
Yeah.
I've got the skates I love the most that I broke that I need to fix are from when I was like car hop at Sonic in high school. And so I
Ooh.
fixed those up and then I broke them. And so I'm wearing some ones my mom gave me that I don't like as much right now, but they're back. Like, it's totally back. And it's like the dancing and all of it. And I'm excited.
I would love to have like a pair of like Harley Quinn roller skates from the movie. That would be amazing.
That would be really fab.
Well, see, my problem is that I can't roller skate. So I had knee reconstruction.
Oh yeah.
I've had my left knee reconstructed. I've had my left shoulder reattached.
Ooh.
Yeah, you want 6 dick scars. Look, hold on. I don't know. Yeah, you can see a little line. I can't get
A
close.
little line, yeah, it's
Yeah.
there.
Demonetized.
I've got a line from here all the way around, and then the knees fucked up and the ears fucked up. And so, like, like we have Alki, and people skate on Alki. Ooh, that looks awesome. Till I bump into somebody and I can't walk, and then I fall and I can't get up. So yeah, fuck you and your roller skate. Sorry.
My partner.
Do you
One
think
of-
rollerblading's coming back? Let me ask you that. That's a better question. How do you
I
feel about
love
rollerblading?
It's all coming back. But one of my partners has a bad knee and he can't skate. My other partner, she skates with me because he can't skate either. Which it was like I wanted him to so bad, but he couldn't do it. So we go skating and he'll make a video or hang out with us while we skate because he can't do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the video person. That's all right.
You put a camera in his hands and he's happy anyway. Like videography, photography, like that's his thing. So I got him into lens recently, so he can do it again.
In a relationship with two women, the guy usually is the camera guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my I'm gonna just say that I am non-binary, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Oh my God, no!
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. You know,
So bad.
It's usually the guy without the titties that's holding the camera. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'll have to share the meme with you, Dante, that Lyric shared on their personal page on Facebook, which was a person, someone who had a hand who had artificial nails on all these fingers except these ones.
Oh,
can you guess why?
Doing the pink and oops, sorry. It's called the I know that one. I got that. It's the shocker. Okay, all right. And I don't mean the dance either. Ooh.
I don't have any.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't either. And I'm also bisexual, so I get that one.
Short nail gang.
Hey, I keep well manicured. I know.
They are well manicured.
Shit just got real. Oh my God. Is this dating with disabilities or what?
I know. I gotta prepare for
12.
that. I was gonna say I'm preparing for that show.
Oh God. Well, we've it's been almost an hour and a half. I know it goes fast. We start on time. It seems weird, but we're about there. We got any other questions for her? For them. Sorry, I'm working on it. For them.
Hey, I appreciate you.
For them.
Oh, I have a quick thing. Can we give some quick tips for autistic creators who want to get on YouTube?
Oh, yes. So I think the most important thing is to figure out what is a realistic schedule for you to put out a video. And if you can shoot for a video that's about 10 minutes long, around at least, that's going to be what's most worth your time. And if people like regularity and content they can predict when they know it's going to come out, just like your favorite show is going to come out on this same time every day, every week. So if you can put out videos once a week, that's awesome. That tends to be what social media likes. But if that's not a realistic goal for you, maybe it's once a month, maybe it's twice a month, but figure out what is realistic for you, because every person's different depending on a lot of factors, and stick to it and just figure out what that realistic commitment is. And it's like, I didn't start doing everything at once. It was like, I started with, one video a week. And then it was like, then I added, now I post on Instagram once a day, so it's like, I've added when things have gone away. But really it's like, what is realistic and what can you actually stick to? I want more neurodivergent people to go out there and create content. Like, we need to just all do it. If every single one of us had a YouTube channel, it would show how human we are, because that's the problem. People don't see us as humans. People see us as like a collective of walking stereotypes. And so we need, like, all of us make channels.
Audra, you need a channel. The rest of us have channels. You got to get on this.
I know, I really
Get your shit together, Audra. What the fuck?
If you're a writer, right? Like, everybody use what they got. Like, not everyone's going to be a YouTube person, Some people might be really good at making memes. Like, use Instagram.
Right.
I'm mad that you said YouTube. That's for old fucking people. Won't we talk about the new technology?
TikTok?
Let's get some more oddies on TikTok, right?
TikTok.
Ooh, yeah.
Young oddies on TikTok are sharp. They know some shit.
Yeah, right.
I know, right?
I can't fucking do it. Like, I think I'd probably be great. You know what I mean? Like, get Seth Rogen doing lines and then just have me saying them. And they'd be like,
you would be perfect at that.
"Whoa, hey, how you doing? What's up? Oh." Yeah, you didn't know. They call me the Black Seth Rogen. I just blew Lyric's mind. She has not
Seth
put that
Rogen's
together.
One of my, I'm embarrassed by how much I like Seth Rogen movies.
Oh yeah, I had somebody tell me the other day. I'll just say it. I'm pretty sure this. So a comedian's been working with me on some things, and out of nowhere, they were like, "I kind of got a crush on you." And I was, "What?"
Whoa.
They're like, "Well, yeah, I've got a crush on Seth Rogen, and you're hot, and you're black, and you're in fucking Canada. That's not helping me right now."
Oh,
Poor
Like,
people, we're used to that. We date across state lines when you're queer a lot of times. We're like,
whoa.
there's some straight privilege right there. Now,
I was gonna say isn't that propositioning? When you go
That-
across
that
the
is
state
federal.
line, that becomes a felony. I just want a local misdemeanor. If I leave my 40 on the dresser in Canada, that's a federal oh fuck. Oh, that's funny. So so I've got to respond to some of our comments here. So Devaney's on here. Audrey.
Oh, yay,
I
Debbie.
ran into her at Walmart. So this is a high school friend of ours. And fuck it, I'll just talk about her. She's watching anyways. She's about 6'2".
oh wow.
She's bigger than me. Okay. Right? And so yeah. And she's a BBW. She's a big, beautiful woman, right? Am I saying that right? Right? Body positive, right? And so she talked about how guys would come up to her and be like, ooh, I'd love to ride that ride. Ooh, you right? And just talked about and she was just like, I hate this shit. Like, I'm not your fucking giraffe. Don't come up to me talking about, hey, haven't tried one of those before. All right. We were talking, and I was talking to her about the show, and she was like, you've always been you. It's great to see you being you. Like, hey, it's fucking awesome. You're being you, and it's and she's out here saying that's the gospel truth.
It
But
is.
she knows Audra well. She knows me well, and I was like, just talking about like this is the thing. Like, people don't get that. There's fucking weird people everywhere, and none of us really have. We don't know it until you get older and you spend your whole high school, middle school career feeling weird, when really it's the normies that are weird, because you fuckers want to go to prom and do all these weird fucking traditional shit that most of us don't want to be a part of.
Right. See, look, see, here we
I
are.
didn't go to prom.
I got a lot of thoughts on weird wedding traditions.
Us neurodivergents are everywhere.
Right.
We might be right behind you.
You fucking weirdo.
Might be watching you right now.
That was
Might
the
be in the
thing.
closet.
And just to shout out all our most people. So Blue Glasses Girl, Emma Roberts in UK wanted to say they're so happy that you're on the show today, Lyric. Alicia Rains out of South Dakota is also another comedian. They love the fact you're roller skating. Roller skating's back. Sorry, not black. It's definitely white.
Well, it comes from
white.
a lot of it comes from Black culture. You
We
want
are
to
not
Yeah.
culturally
Big dancing?
appropriating that. No, we're not. You guys can fucking keep that shit.
All right.
We'll do the knee pads and elbow pads. That's just not. We're too tough for that.
But have you seen jam skating though?
Oh God.
Because it's fabulous, and I was like, we owe Black people that, because that's where that came from. Like,
Yeah.
honestly,
The Humpty Dance, right? The jam. Yeah, those are the three things. R.I.P. Shock G and DMX and all that. But we also had so who was it? The Northern Audi came on here and said that they appreciate you. Emma, who has said she wouldn't have got her glasses without you. Like, there's so many people I guess you inspire, and that's the crazy part for me is like I have no respect. I'm just like, who's this fucking guest? Like, who's next? I guess right. Like, I had no. They're not fucking important. They're on my show. They can't be that fucking
I'm not
important.
important. I don't feel important. I'm just like a person in an RV. I'm like,
Right?
I don't. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, from what I'm seeing, and if you don't know, you are well appreciated. You are well inspiring. And thank you for taking time out of your day to be on our show. Anybody else got anything? I think we're going to wrap up. Don't cry. I know I get nice every once in a while, and you're like, oh my God.
I love Lyric.
Don't you
I just
fucking
want to
do
see
that.
all your cosplay stuff and like go and binge watch all your stuff. That's what I'm gonna do later.
Oh my gosh, it's been a
I
really
feel
long
totally
day.
uncomfortable because I'm like, I want to see you in costume too. Oh, damn, I can't say that. I can't.
Only I can.
When I say it, it gets creepy. When they say it, it's like, yeah, whatever. Oh, I want to see you in costume.
Isn't that a funny double standard?
All right.
Right? I want to see that.
I like to
That's a
call it
gender
cute
fluid
girl
person.
privilege.
How I dress, it's like I can get away with different things depending on my outfit.
Yes.
And I'll end on this. That's a great place to end. So this is what I'm going to end on, and I want to do a public service announcement for everybody so they can hear this. On Friday night, I had a comedy show, and I just sold out. I just figured I sold out, and I just posted I sold out. And don't you fucking cry, Audra, because you know what I'm about to fucking talk about. That's not what I'm about to talk about. She knows what I'm about to talk about. The next thing I did was walk into 7-Eleven and was racially profiled. I asked the guy to give me service, and he decided, no, you can't have service. And if you don't leave, I'm going to call the fucking police. And I sat there for 40 fucking minutes waiting for the police to come so I could experience the racism because I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
The worst part about everything we do and all the success you have and all these different things, and you brought up the clothes you wear. The reason why I'm suit man is because I get treated so differently when I'm in that suit. That's what that suit man badge stands for, is the fact that when Dante Barnett suit man is in a suit, I can get autistic artists, people to talk about that. I can get dating with disabilities viewership. But if I was just a nigga in a sweatshirt, it doesn't happen. And I want to end on that because I think that's what this whole message is about today is that even though what Lyric passes as isn't what they are, right? And we've all got to start understanding that. And it doesn't take somebody being passing to be respected. And I hope all of us in our community start respecting each other more. Thank you for tuning in.
Follow that.
2 weeks we'll have our guest Rebecca Hector on here. Also, if you're not doing anything today, go get you a snack, go grab you a movie, work one out if you have to, because we're going to be doing dating with disabilities in about 2.5 hours. And we're going to be having some great subjects. We're going to be talking about the use of sex toys and possibly sex workers. No, that's next month. Fuck. Darn it.
Yeah.
And this month we're doing expectations versus reality, right?
And disclosing.
And then disclosing your disabilities. So if you're not doing anything, Lyric, I'd love for you to come tune in. We'll talk about getting you on there. We haven't talked about a throuple, let alone an interracial throuple yet, so that'd be interesting. Woo, fuck. Thank you for tuning in. You guys have a great night. Go on.